This is actually a question for both Ms. Chantelle Fraser and Ms. Patria Kay. I'm not sure if she was able. Hi, Patria. Isn't that cool? So, Jamaicans have an entrepreneurial spirit, and it is no secret that especially women across all cultures are increasingly emerging as business leaders. That entrepreneurial spirit has been the foundation for Jamaican women, whether they are members of the diaspora or still reside at home. In addition, the growth of businesses in Jamaica, especially women-owned businesses, are slated to play a large role in Jamaica's forward development. And so again, I'm going to actually ask this question of the two of you and invite you to share your unique stories. So to Chantelle first and then to Patria Kay, please tell us your story and about your backgrounds and how your heritage allowed you to start your own businesses.
Sure. Hi. Can you hear me? Mic working?
I can pass this one to you if it's a little bit better.
It's a little low, right? I'm not as, my voice isn't as, I don't want to say loud, but. Hi, everybody. So I am British Jamaican. My parents came to England at a very young age, at 8 years old. But we had a very, very strong traditional Caribbean upbringing. My parents always taught us that being that we were first and foremost Jamaicans, and we also were representing Jamaica in England. So anything that we did as British Jamaican people would be a reflection on the homeland. So we were always taught that we had to be very mindful of our behavior as Caribbean people living, as minorities living in England. We have, I think, 2%. It's 2% black in England, so we are really the representatives for Jamaica. And we were definitely instilled that kind of sense of pride being Jamaican, the sense that we were mighty, and I think what the gentleman said what's the gentleman's name?
Mr. Devin Harris.
Yeah, what Devin Harris said really resonated with me, because that is exactly how I was brought up. We were taught to believe, okay, we were the biggest island, that we were the best. And so from a very young age, it was drummed into me that, I was going to be a lawyer, that I was going to go to university, that, that I was going to be the best version of myself. And just to make sure that, one of the few people outside of Jamaica in England, I had to make sure that I was going to be the best. So that definitely was one of my, I'd say, reasons why I have kind of taken an entrepreneurial path. And also the principles that my parents instilled in me. One of the first ones that they taught us was to never let fear stop me from doing anything, because fear is the number one saboteur of success. Mm-hmm. So whenever I feel fear, I was always taught to believe to face that fear. Because if you don't face that fear, then what will ensue is really the only possibility is failure. So for me, my fearlessness has definitely helped me become a successful entrepreneur. I founded my business at 27 years old from my bedroom. I had no money to speak of, nothing, just literally a Rolodex and my phone card, my contacts, and just really a vision and that self-belief that I was brought up with. So I always knew that even though I didn't necessarily know how I was going to get to where I was going, I knew that I just had to kind of take the first steps. And from that, I knew that doors and opportunities would come to me. And another principle that I was brought up with was to never let my circumstances dictate my success. Especially being, a minority in England, where, we're subjected to, a lot of racism. You're typically the only black child in the school. And, it can be very difficult growing up, but I never believed that was ever going to stop me from getting to where I wanted to be. So they always said that regardless of my class, my color, My gender, that was never ever going to stop me from achieving greatness or success. So, I started Flawless from my bedroom. Within, say, a year, I had an office in Soho, and I have a strong workforce, and we've been in business for about 10 years. And I've since become a cast member on a very popular TV show called Blood, Sweat and Heels, which has given great exposure to my business, so I'm very proud of that. And so the journey is continuing, really. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent.